بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone, and welcome to Tafseer class. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins of our shuyukh, our parents, our beloved ones, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq so we can benefit from this lesson, and may Allah grant us al-ikhlas fil qawl wal amal. Brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, as in Sunan al-Tirmidhi and Sunan Abi Dawood and others, from the hadith of Abi Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it's long hadith, but part of this hadith, من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. So whoever finds for himself a way for seeking the knowledge here is the knowledge of the deen of Allah. So any subject of related to the deen of Allah, fiqh, hadith, tafsir, which is the best because you're going to learn the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man salaka tariqan, whoever amongst you or Muslims, he followed a way, seeking the knowledge, salaka tariqan yaltamisu fi ilman, trying to get the knowledge using that way. And for you, mashallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and bless the steps that you took since you left your home, and the breath that you spend from the time you left your home until the end of the lesson. Ameen ya Rab. So you made for yourself a way, and that you selected for yourself to attend this lesson this morning in this blessed masjid. Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilman. This just being and having this action that you did for yourself, you're creating for yourself a way to get to Jannah. سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. Allah will ease for you a way to get into the Jannah. And as our ulama said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is seeking the knowledge itself is a reason for entering the Jannah. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create for you an action, will ease for you an action or ibadah, an act of worship to be able to enter the Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is one of the great rewards of being just a circle amongst the people who are seeking the knowledge and being in a class to try to attend it and to seek the knowledge of the deen. Okay, going back to our lesson, last week we completed the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from ayah 27. The saying of Allah, قَالَ سَنَنْظُرْ أَصَدَقْتَ أَمْ كُنْتَ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. The saying of Sulaiman to Al-Hudhud when he gave him that we will see whether you're going to be honest and truthful in your statement or not. And then he said, اذهب بكتابي هذا فألقه إليهم ثم تول عنهم فانظر ماذا يرجعون. Before I move on from that one, I think one of the lessons that which I didn't mention it is accepting the udhr, accepting the excuse. Sulaiman alayhi salam, he accepted the excuse at the end of Al-Hudhud, and that's one of the lessons that we will learn for us. I think every one of us in here, either a mother or a father or a brother or a sister, you have a relation with the others, and you will get one day in a situation when someone will try to apologize, or someone will try to ask you for forgiveness, and you should have that in your mind, that accepting the udhr, accepting the excuse of the others. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the most beloved things to him, that to accept the udhr of the sinful people. We get sins, and when we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask for forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives us and allows us to continue. So for us as well, we have to have that. اذهب بكتابي هذا, go with my book. And he sent with him a message, فألقه إليهم ثم تول عنهم فانظر ماذا يرجعون. Take it to Saba and see what they're going to return with that. قالت يا أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم. We talked about why was that the book of Sulaiman, the letter, the message of Sulaiman was giving the title of Kareem, as she said it. And then we have the ayah 30, that's where we stopped. She said, إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So then this is the part of the beginning of the letter of Sulaiman alayhi as-salam. As I said to you, I shared with you last week, the scholars from the Tabi'een, they said Sulaiman in his message was very short, and he did not add more than saying min Sulaiman, from Sulaiman, and this is to show that the letter was sent from the person who sent it. And then he started by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And we did talk about how Rasulullah ﷺ used to start all his messages with, in early time, with, who can remember? How was the beginning messages of Rasulullah ﷺ before he started saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim? Last week we said it. He used to say Bismika Allahumma. Bismika Allahumma. In your name, O Allah. But here, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is different. When the ayah was revealed, as some ulama said, Rasulullah started saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim in full. We talked about some ahkam, some rules related to the basmala, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, beginning of matters. Any matter without Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, any action, anything that important you want to do without basmala, then Rasulullah said, فَهُوَ أَجْدَعْ فَهُوَ أَقْطَعْ, means is not complete, is not blessed. So you need to have the basmala at the beginning of your action. So that's the beginning of the message. And then Sulaiman alayhi salam said, as in the following ayah, which is our ayah today. We start with this ayah 31. He said, أَلَّا تَعْلُوا عَلَيَّ وَأْتُونِي مُسْلِمِينَ. Allah, my brothers and sisters, you see it as one word. Can you see it? Allah. But in reality, this is two words. Is an la. An, alif, hamza, noon, and then la. That's the reality of this word. If we're going to break it into two, we just make it easy and clear to you. Some ulama are saying, no, it is a word like that. But the Arab, when they say this, there's a la. La for nahi, to forbid, to dislike, to make it prohibited. So Allah ta'lu, do not, he's saying to them, Allah ta'lu. Ta'lu from al-ulu, and al-ulu being higher, and it means here, don't be arrogant, don't be someone who will reject what I commanded you, what I told you to do, which is to come to me, to come, all of you, to me as a believers, to believe in the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to believe in me as a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah ta'lu alayya, straight away the message, a person out of izzah, out of high, strong position, Sulaiman alayhi salam, as someone who believes in Allah all the time, the izzah for the believers, even on the earth, in the land. Maybe you are not as Rasulullah in early days in Mecca. He was not like ruling, and he hasn't got big followers in Mecca, and he faced a lot of hardship. But he was, when he talks about Allah, when he talks about the religion, he talked about it without of izzah, out of being very proud of what I believe in. That's what Rasulullah used to speak to the kuffar Quraysh. Sulaiman, same thing in here. Allah ta'lu alayya wa atuni muslimin. Sulaiman also, he had a big empire, and out of izzah, all that blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, straight away the message. Do not be arrogant, do not disagree with what I'm telling you, and وَأْتُونِي muslimin. So that's the nahi. Do not have ulu. Do not have ulu means don't be an arrogant. Al-ulu being higher and think that you are bigger than me, or you are bigger or higher than the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alayya, he mentioned about himself. Alayya, upon me, and he is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's talking here from perspective of being a Nabi, not as a king, not as a ruler or someone who rules all that land. He is talking to them as a Nabi. And that's why the evidence for that, he said, وَأْتُونِي muslimin. Atuni, come to me, all of you. This is Bilqis, the queen of Saba, the Saba as all empire, all the land, the people of that land. Come to me by believing in what I told you about, and that's Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa'tuni muslimin, and come to me muslimin. The word muslimin, the scholars of tafsir, they said ta'i'in. Ta'i'in means that someone who's obedient and come and obeying my command to you. And some ulama are saying muslimin means muwahhideen, and believing in Allah alone and no one else with him, because they used to worship the sun. So that's two meanings about Muslimin mentioned by scholars of tafsir. However, we know the word Muslim, it comes from the word Aslama Yuslim, and Islam is to submit. It's to be munqad, to give up, to really to follow and to submit yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rules. And that is more likely the meaning of the word ta'i'in, as some scholars of tafsir mention. A ta'i', the obedient person. And a ta'i', you will not get into the level of obedience unless if you are a muwahhid as well. And muwahhid, the one who's accepting the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you believe in Allah. Otherwise, if Allah told you to worship Him alone and not to worship anything else with Him, and you go and worship other things with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this case, you are not a muwahhid. So, wa'tuni muslimin, that is the command of Sulaiman alayhi salam to Bilqis and others. This message was clear to them, and then the response of Bilqis, she said, قالت Ya ayyuhal malak. Before we move on that, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to send messages to the kings and the rulers of other states. And that was in Medina. He used to say the same thing. Min Muhammad ibn Abdullah ila, from Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, ila to, and he mentioned the person that is receiving that. And he tells them about the options. And here, Sulaiman, he did not mention to them the options. What they are options in Islam? What are, when Rasulullah, I think you should all maybe know about this, at this age maybe you know, when Muhammad used to send his message to Kisra or to Herakl, Hercules or Khosrow, what he used to say to them? He used to say to them, Aslim taslam. If you accept Islam, you're saving yourself. If you reject that, فَعَلَيْكَ الْجِزْيَةِ. Upon you, there is a jizya. If you reject that, then the sword between me and you. So 3 options in here. One is to accept Islam, which is the beloved things to Rasulullah, and that's what he wanted the others to have, because وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He was sent as a rahmah. And a rahmah is to make the others believe in the beautiful religion, which is the Islam. Because the deen can you close the door if someone comes in and out? Please. The outside door, please. Then that's the first point. That's how is it in Islam. So Islam, if not, then there will be the jizya. And a jizya means in here, you're paying tax to the Muslim ruler because you will be protected by the Muslim ruler. And if that didn't work, then there will be the last option, which is, it can happen, and it did happen during the time of Rasulullah, and that is the war. But in here, straight away with Sulaiman, one option is you accept Islam, you don't have any other choice. قالت, she responded, she said, يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في أمري ما كنت قاطعة أمرا حتى تشهدون. A number of scholars of tafsir, they said, they praised Bilqis, the queen of Saba, with this statement, showing that a wise lady, she said to her people, قالت يا أيها الملأ. She gathered her senior people. It's interesting, Qatada, one of the scholars of tafsir, he said, Al-Mala, the senior people of Saba, they were 313. 300 and bid'a, some, 13, 15, 16. You smiling, I'm sure that this number, it told you about something. What do you think about it? Why are you smiling? Is this number reminds you of something? Exactly. This is the number of the battle of the people of Badr. And you see this in a number of occasions in Islam where you say a number, they will go into the number of the people of Badr. I'm not sure if there is Qatada ibn Da'am al-Sadusi, one of the great scholars of tafsir, and you not get to find an ayah in the Quran, very rare, you get to find an ayah in the Quran without his view in there. And he said the number of al-Mala, he said in the gathering of Saba, they were 313. How did he, I mean, this is a big specific number 313, with that's a fixed number. Allah knows best. So this is not something that we can say it, but Al-Mala is her senior people, and the senior people will be people with thinking, with the aql. They give right consultation to her. As we did mention the ayah in previous weeks, that how she consulted her senior people and talked about the shura, and not in everything to make a mashura, the consultation. You make it only with important matters, and it's not for everyone, to the public, for the senior people, they will give you the right opinion. So قالت يا أيها الملأ, she requested, she asked al-mala, the close people to her, those who are senior, aftuni. Aftuni from the word fatwa, give me an opinion. She used the word fatwa. Aftuni means I'm questioning you, I'm giving you a request and ask a matter, a scenario, question. This is the matter, this is our situation, and give me your answer. Aftuni. And that's what the questioner, when some comes ask a sheikh or an imam, he's saying, aftini. It means give me a fatwa, give me an answer of my question. So aftuni fi amri, in my matter. Because she's in a matter now, she doesn't want to give a decision by herself. And that's what she said. ما كنت قاطعة أمرا, I will not make a decision about a matter. قاطعة means deciding, confirming, or really making a decision about a matter. أمرا, about a matter. حتى تشهدون, until you be witness. تشهدون from أشهد يشهد, and الشاهد is the witness, and meaning here you agreeing with me and you're witnessing the matter. So I'm not making a decision by myself. This decision is about the whole ummah of Saba. The whole ummah of Saba, one of the greatest nations at the time in terms of the land, in terms of the wealth, and just her arsh, her throne was all full of gold and expensive and big life for her. The Hudhud, when he came to Sulaiman, he was, although Al-Hudhud, he saw how big is the land of Sulaiman, how great was the power of Sulaiman. When he described the power of Bilqis, he said, وَلَهَا عَرْشٌ عَظِيمٌ. He was very amazed with what the wealth that Saba they had at that time. So it's not an easy for empire like that for her to make a decision by herself, and she consulted her mala, her senior people, to make a decision about this matter, which is wise, and that is important, because the wise person in matters like that don't make it, I'm sure, that everyone in the house. For example, let's take it from the house between a husband and wife. If you have adult children, mature boys and girls, you also engage them in your consultation when you need to make a decision about important matter in the house. So let's say moving house, let's say just moving house, moving area. You're moving from maybe the country or the city. You get to get your children involved in that. Okay, what do you think of that? It's important because it's going to affect the whole life of that family. If your children are younger, you're going to make it you and your wife. If it's something going into bigger than that, going into your work, let's say, between you and a big decision you get to make it. Maybe you're going to invest with some different company, and you get to get your accountant, your solicitor, your people who are really senior in your company to consult them. Similar to that, we come into the masajid, institutes, and all of that. If there is a big, very serious decision that will be made, you're not going to make it by yourself, protecting your because you might make a mistake, and later on everyone's going to criticize you. So the best is to consult those who are senior, and from there, at the end, the decision will be for the one who's making decision. So that is why she was wise, and this is a praise. And if you remember, previously we talked about whether women will be in the leadership or not. And we talked about it, I think, in the whole day. And those who are praising the decision of females when they are in leadership, they're saying, look how she was wise. And you expect a female when she will be in the leadership, and she will give a wise views about this. However, there is a view that was, I wanted you to be aware of all of this. There's a view that they mentioned that was not out of being wise. She said that because she was scared. And women, generally, they get scared. They can't make decisions. They are not easy for them to make decisions. Sister is smiling in this. But this is what some of the commentators said. It can be because she's a wise lady and she doesn't want to get her ummah nation into that trouble going against Sulaiman's big army. So she said, what do you think? What shall we do? And it might be because she's not that comfortable with herself. She's not someone that can make decisions, and she relies on her consultants and to go back to them. So there is a point for that. I can't really deny it. Then we have the following ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قالوا, in the tongue of the people of الملأ of بلقيس, قالوا نحن أولو قوة وأولو بأس شديد والأمر إليك فانظري ماذا تأمرين. قالوا الملأ. Now she consulted them and they said, I think as some scholars said, they represented, one of them said that, and another view they said all of them, they agreed. They said it, they said the same statement. Each one of them said it, but the conclusion of what they said, the following. Nahnu, we, it means the people of Saba. We, you followers. Ulu quwwatin, people of ulu means we possessed, we have. Quwwa. Al-quwwa here, strength. But some ulama they're saying is referring to the number. We have big number. In our numbers, we are big, we are great. So nahnu ulu quwwa. Al-quwwa literally, you can't even translate just the word. Quwwa means power, strength. It can be, the first meaning that you should consider all the time in tafsir, you take the obvious meaning in the language, but also you need to consider what the scholars tafsir said. So some of the tabi'een, they said the word quwwa here is referring to al-adad, and al-adad means a number. Means we have big number. We, the people of Saba, we are great, we're huge in number. And when you have big number, means you have the strength, you have the power. Isn't it? Like think about China. Think about China comparing with America. Look, the number of the China, it's big number. Even if you have less, they're saying even if you have less weapons, but your numbers is big. So really, if you put them from here to there, by the time you get there, even if those died, it doesn't make any big difference because you still have big number. Carrying on. It's like Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they go in, there's more people coming in. More people coming out. They have no end. The start of them is in a sham. The end of them, you don't even see it. It's covering the whole land. So is endless number. Anyway, so having big number is a sign of the strength, sign of power. So we ulu quwwat. So I'm showing this to show you there's no contradiction between the two views in here. The quwwa itself, it means the strength, the power, and the quwwat can be al-adad, which is the number. We have big number. We are possessed big number. Our army is big. Wa ulu ba'sin shadid. Wa ulu ba's. Al-ba's, it means al-harb, the war. Al-ba's, when it's used, it can be in the Islamic text. When we use it, we refer into the war and the fight. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said about the battles, he described Rasulullah during the battles when he used to fight the mushriks of Mecca. He says, حين يشتد البأس كنا نحتمي برسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. When al-ba's, I'm just referring to the word al-ba's. حينما يشتد from shadid becomes very severe. Al-ba's, what is it? The war, the fight. We used to protect and use Rasulullah as our protection. So وَأُولُو بَأْسٍ شَدِيد, it means that in the war we are very severe, we are strong. When the war happens, we will be strong, we are strong, shadid. So we have big number, and in the war we are very strong. They are saying about reminding their queen, their ruler, their leader, about their strength, what we have. This is the advantages. This is what we have, and then for you to make a decision. Because the wise people as well, when you'll be consulted, look into your strength, look into your weaknesses, look into what you have and what you don't have. And from there, you're going to make a decision. So they mention here what they have, what really they think that they have. So, وَأُولُو بَأْسٍ شَدِيد. However, at the end, they said to her, وَالْأَمْرُ إِلَيْكِ. Some mufassirun, some scholars of tafsir said, as if they want to say to her, look, the decision, we can't make it. We just would tell you what do we have and you get to make a decision. Wal amru ilayki. And the matter is for you. The decision, you make it. We are people of war. We're people of strength. We can lead. That means that if you want to go for war, we are ready for it. If you want to go to fight Sulaiman, we are ready for that. Don't worry about that. We have the strength, we have the number, we are strong in the war. But you make that decision. Wal amru ilayki. And the decision is up to you. Fanzuri madha ta'murin. So think and ponder and make madha ta'murin, what you're going to make, the decision that you're going to make it. So they let her to make the decision. They did not make a decision. They just made her aware of all of that. Brothers, sisters, all of this, the stories, when you read it, this is the Quran. This is what we read in our salah. This is what we read in our taraweeh. This is what we read in our daily basis to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's reward in every single letter we read it. And it's a story about a nation that long time happened, about Sulaiman, Prophet Sulaiman, long time. And all of this is for us to learn lessons. It's for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that time to give him comfort, to give him strength, to see the other Anbiya, how what they face in their lives. You're going to have the same thing, O Muhammad, is to narrate this and to say that to the mushrik and to the other, the Christians and the Jews in there, to show him that he's got the knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about a nation that doesn't exist at that time, about Saba, about Sulaiman alayhi salam, is for us to learn lessons from all of this and to implement that in our lives. So really, if there is a consultation, as we said earlier, if there is, when you consult, don't go beyond your level. And that's what I want to say about the second ayah. They said what they are sure about it. And we go beyond. If you are consulted about something, you see some of us sometimes, or you hear or you see people when they will be consulted, they are specialists, let's say, in finance. They should give their advice about finance. Don't go beyond that. Don't push to make the head, the leader, whoever in there, to make a decision based on what you wanted. If you are good in, let's say, properties or something like that, you get to give you consultation based on that. Do not push. So give you what you, as what they said, they showed what they have, what our strength. They told him that their strength. We have a number, we have the strength, and we are good in fighting in the war. You make the decision now. They're not pushing, and they're not giving something they're not specialist about it. You're going to say what you know about it. Do not assume that you know everything because you read that in the internet. It's not something that you study it. It's not something that you come into Sharia. Come into Sharia. People, they read just two things in the internet. The ruling, it's not something hidden. Everyone knows that. You read that in the groups, WhatsApp groups. You read that in all social media platforms. Although it's very easy to get the phone and to call a sheikh, an imam who studied 10 and 20 and 30 years of holding the same book, that you read it only once for that particular time, and you assume to yourself that is the ruling. And when you come after that, the ruling is not like that. If I tell you examples, just even from yesterday and day before, from Jum'ah yesterday, I'll tell you so many examples about that. Don't assume things. Don't have that assumption in your mind. If you've been consulted, give something that related to your area and then stop there. Don't go beyond that. Something that you not have knowledge about it is better for you to not to say anything. قُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ اصْمُتْ. Say good things or be quiet. It's not for you. And this is an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, otherwise, why we're having this ayah to read it all the time? It's just, Quran is not a book of stories, just to read. Storytellers, Allah is not like that. It's not a book of history, as some people are saying. It's a book for life. Your life is related to that. You implement things from there, you have lessons from that, and use them in your life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to do that. So she said, قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية أفسدوها وجعلوا أعزة أهلها أذلة وكذلك يفعلون. With this statement that she said it after they gave their consultation, she indicated the decision that she wants to make. She did not say, she did not say it clearly, but is understood. And that is the Arab. They don't need to say to you, like, I'm submitting, I'm giving up. They will make it indirect. And that's understood from her statement. She said, Inna al-muluka, surely indeed, al-muluk is a plural word malik. And al-malik, not al-malak. Al-Malik is the angel with a fatha on the lam. Al-Malik with the kasra under the lam is the kings. So Al-Malik, in al-Muluk, al-Muluk is a plural word Malik. Malik will becomes Muluk. Muluk is plural of the word kings. So the kings, إِذَا دَخَلُوا قَرْيَةً, whenever they enter a qarya, it means a village, a town, a city, during the war time, when they want to attack, أفسدوها, they will destroy it. So al-muluk here, the kings of the earth, and with that, she had the experience before, she studied that before, she is aware of the matters of the kings. When they go into a city or town during the war, they will destroy it. So something wasn't something that new to her. She's experienced that, and that's why she said it. A person will not have the ilm of something without reading it, was told about it, or experienced that. She's not a Nabi from Allah to be giving that knowledge that, look, these powerful people, the kings, when they in the war, they enter towns, they will destroy it. She didn't know that. She either read that, she either was told about it before, or she was, giving that knowledge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is not really the case. She's experienced that before. And she's one of the kings. She's a queen. She's one of the rulers. Maybe she did that with other small empires when she attacked them, she destroyed them. And if you think about Saba is a big empire in Yemen. Near to them is Himyar as well. And they are kings, they are empire. All of them, they go back into the Qahtani race. And the Qahtani race, they used to have branches. They used to fight each other as well for who's going to be the ruler there. So قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا, when they enter a qarya, enter it here not with peace. They enter it when in the war. أفسدوها. Al-qarya referring to any kind of a town or village. And you know the word qarya, sometimes people, when they translate that in Arabic or Arabic language, modern Arabic language nowadays, qarya means a village. But that is not really correct in Arabic language, or at least let's say not correct in the Quran. When you refer the word qarya in Quran, it can be a town, a modern city. It can be a modern city, not just a village. Yeah. So because Mecca is not a village, Mecca is a city, and Allah described in the Quran al-Qura, qarya. So, but the word qarya in Arabic language, modern Arabic language, if you use it and talk that to the Arab, they think about as a village, but it's not. The village is a village. You know, we have to differentiate between village and a city. Not because of the culture of the people, how they are villages and all of that. I'm talking Islamically. Do you know that in Islam there are rules, very serious rules, applied to the village, and there are rules applied into the city? You don't know maybe that. You know that Salatul Jama'ah in a village with a specific number, with a specific qualities, if they don't have, let's say, if they don't have a judge in the village, Salatul Jama'ah will not be required for them. Have you heard this before? Just to show you, sometimes I do that to show you the greatness of our religion, the greatness of our rules. We have them in fiqh. Everything is covered. We have so much knowledge in there. So when you talk about a village, that's important to identify this place is a village and this place is not a village. Because if I live in there, is it obligatory upon me to attend Salatul Jama'ah to make this? There is no qadi in there, a judge. Therefore, there are certain rules that will not be applicable there. You have to go somewhere else. Otherwise, pray at home and do things at home in there. So a number of rules related to that. Salatul Eid, the Salatul Jama'ah. Because these congregations, big ones, it requires a certain number and certain rules. If you are in a village, you don't need to implement them in there. I just mentioned this just to differentiate between the word qarya and a modern city. So qarya here means the city. Afsaduha, they destroy it. The destroying here, two types, and both of them are included in here. They will destroy it physically. It means the building, they will be smashed. The whatever good things was built and made in the village or the town, it will be destroyed. And we know that from the history of Islam. I mean, the example of, just a simple example, the Mughal, Genghis Khan, when he entered, starting from far east, from the first town. You know the first town that Genghis Khan, he attacked, and the reason of attacking, until his grandson or great grandson, when they attacked Baghdad and they entered the land, the capital city of the Muslims, Baghdad, which was the impossible for anyone to enter it at that time, because how was very powerful, very protected city. And he entered Baghdad out of tradings. Wasn't because he was strong, because the wazir of the ruler at the time, he's the one who helped him to enter Baghdad. Otherwise, he would not be able to enter it. It was not easy for him. The history showed that the Mughal, they're very powerful, they're very tough, yes, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to lose the power in front of the Muslim. They're going to lose the war. Anyway, going back into how they started attacking the Muslim land from Maru. And Maru was the biggest city for the Muslims in the Far East, in the land of Khurasan, Far East. Was a city, if you read how described in the history of the Muslims, full of scholars, full of richness, money, everything in there. Just read about it in the internet. How was the city of Maru during the time of Genghis Khan, or the early time in Islam? When the Mughal entered it, they made it as if there was no city, the city that we know about it at that time in the history. And so this is an example. When they enter a town or a place, they will destroy it physically. Physically, they will destroy that. It happened amongst the Muslims as well, amongst each other, they destroy land. And also destroying this by giving different beliefs and different ideas. So the muluk, because they want them, that's Fir'aun. Fir'aun, he wants people to believe in him, and that's changing the ideology of the people, the belief, the faith of the people. And that's the type of destroying as well. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us, La tufsidu fil ard, do not make fasad on the earth. Both of them, al-fasad al-aqadi, the fasad which is to do with your belief inside your mind and heart, and the physical fasad, both of them. However, when the kings or those rulers, they enter some places, they do both these fasads. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. That's the first thing that what they do. They will create fasad on the earth and in that particular land or city or town. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. And they will make the a'izza, the noble people of that city, they will make them adilla. They will humiliate them. Al-dhalil, al-saghir, the one who will be humiliated, I will make them small. So, وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. You are a king, or you are a master, you are a leader, or wazir, or a minister, or a senior one. And then when you'll be catched by the enemy, they will make you a very dhalil, very humiliated, and that is what they do. But you need to remember, Islam doesn't tell us that. Islam, they give respect to those who are senior in their ummah, in their nation, in the time of the war. Give them that respect because of their states. You cannot make them same as the others, but it doesn't mean that you're going to give them to forgive them and to give them, it's the way of you dealing with it. So you can't put them in a way, for example, even put them in a prison, let's say. You will not put them in the normal and basic ones, or those who are public, or those who are poor, those who are really down, they are not from the senior. There is a way of dealing with those who are senior and because of their states during or before the Islam. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. The evidence for that, just to tell you about this, in Islam, from the 8 categories we have them for zakah, we have the people who are, how to describe them to you in English, the people who are not Muslims, and you expect from them maybe to become a Muslim because of their states, their position in their village, in their tribe. So because of that, you will give them from the zakah. That's the only non-Muslims that can receive the zakah. Or you give them from the sadaqah, general sadaqah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave to Uyayna bin Hisn, and he gave to Abu Sufyan, and he gave to a number of, he gave to also Safwan ibn Umayyah. He gave them lots of money from the day of Hunayn after Mecca, and all this. Al-mu'allafa qulubuhum. Mu'allafa qulubuhum, a phrase is mu'allafa means you make ta'lif, try to make them to love you, to love Islam, to love that. And they are maybe inside, they don't deserve it. And because there are people who are more poorer than them, but because of their states, because of their position, and they may affect the others. Until, if just to finish the story of Abu Sufyan and others, they used to receive that during the time of Rasulullah. So Abu Sufyan, Uyayna ibn Hisn, Safwan ibn Umayyah, and others, they used to receive that from the time of Rasulullah. All the time, the Khilafah of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, 2.5 years. During the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in some years of his in his khilafah, he stopped it. He didn't give it to them. He said, if all these years and you still consider yourself, to Abu Sufyan, you're still amongst the mu'allafa qulubuhum, then when you get to be a good Muslim? 4 years, 5 years, it's enough for you to be established in Islam, and you are not from the other tribe anymore. Because khalas. Now, and someone says to me one day, we have here an revert Muslim, but someone said to me, someone was about 30 years in Islam, and he said, well, you have to consider him 30 years in Islam, so we have to be very soft to him. 30 years, maybe even some Muslims who are Muslims, he is in Islam more than them. We have boys, we have girls, youth. In Islam, maybe they are 20 years old, and you are 30 years in Islam, means that your age possibly are 60 or 70, and you still me to consider you in the way how we consider the new Muslim. It's open for debate. If I'm wrong, please correct me. It's either this person did not learn Islam correctly, or this person did not take Islam in a serious way. We can't use this all the time as an excuse. Umar ibn Khattab, think about Rasulullah, that wasn't Hunayn, as I said to you. My evidence, I don't talk without evidence. That wasn't Hunayn. Hunayn was in year 9. So year 9, year 10, Rasulullah died. In year 10, we have 2.5 years Abu Bakr as-Siddiq's Khilafah. So that's 4.5. And then during the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab, let's say 1 year, let's say 2 years, let's say 3 years. I'm just giving you more. Because the incident of Abu Sufyan and the time when Umar ibn Khattab stopped giving money to the mu'allafa qulubuhum, I don't know exactly in which year, but we know that Umar ibn Khattab, he established the system of the money in early years in his khilafah. The social service and giving money to the poor ones, to the orphans, to the army, and all of this in early years of his khilafah. So let's say I'm giving you 3 years. So after 7 years, if a person is in Islam 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you're still saying to me we need to treat them in a way that they're Muslims, they should know, they're same as us. We're all same. We're all same. Yeah, Muslims 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, possibly still fresh. Yes, then in this case, so really, you're a Muslim, you have to learn Islam as the others learning Islam. You have to take Islam serious as the other taking Islam serious, and then otherwise you can't be mu'allafa until all end of your life. You can't be a mu'allafa until the end of your life. Yeah. This is my message. I might be wrong, but this is a fiqhi mas'ala, and you can take it and you can leave it. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. She was, as some Mufassirin said, she was worried about her town. She was very considerate. She said, if I go for fight with Sulaiman, with the army, as you suggesting to me, you're saying we are having a big number in army, we are strong, and we are fighters. They suggesting to her that if you want that, this is what we can consult you with. This is our area. We are strong in that. If you're going to go for fight, we are ready for it. She's saying to them, إِنَّ الْمُلُوكَ إِذَا دَخَلُوا قَرْيَةً أَفْسَدُوهَا, indicating that, look, if I go for war with Sulaiman, he's going to destroy my empire. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. I am your queen. I'm going to be a dhalil. I'm going to be humiliated. I'm going to be leading all that izzah that I'm having now, I'm going to lose it. So she was considering her country, considering the people who lives in the country, because they're going to be destroyed, killed, considering herself. This is wise things, isn't it, to think about it? You think about that is in a wise way, but sometimes a ruler needs to make a decision, because you might consider that all the time you can't move from your place. You will be stand still in your place, you can't move. If all the time you're going to be considering this, so a decision has to be made. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when Al-Ahzab, the Quraysh, with the Jew with Arab tribes came to attack him, Rasulullah in year 5, he did not give up. Rasulullah, he made a trench in there to protect Medina, although it was very tough for him. In Uhud as well, it was tough. 3,000 there, and Rasulullah with 1,000 only in Uhud. In Badr, 1,000 with the 300. He never gave up, because Rasulullah was believed in Allah. Allah will support him. If you have strong iman, you'll be all the time strong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you. However, just at the end, this decision will be made by the ruler, by the one who is responsible for that, and with consulting with the others. But here, she considered to not to fight with Sulaiman, and that's very clear from her message. وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ. The last phrase in the ayah, brothers and sisters, can you look into two words? وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ. Some scholars, they said that is a statement from Allah, because the beginning statement narrated by Allah, but is a statement of Bilqis herself. Allah is telling us about it. The last two words, some ulama are saying that statement of Allah. He's saying what Bilqis said, it is true. وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ. And like that they do. It means the kings, the rulers, when they enter towns, they will destroy it, they will kill the people, and they will make those who are aziz, will make them dhalil. Those who are really top, they will become humiliated in front of the others. However, the second opinion of the ulama, they said, no, this statement is continuing from the statement of Bilqis herself. She said, confirmed her statement after she said, this is what they will do, and surely that's what they will be doing. وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ. Okay? However, not all the time. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's in Islam, the rules of Islam, although some Muslim rulers, they did not do that. In Islam, we are not allowed to destroy houses, buildings. We're not allowed to destroy trees, farms. We're not allowed to kill females, old ladies, old men, children. All of that are rules in Islam, in the war, in the battles. That is all stated in the chapters in fiqh, in Muslim books of fiqh, in the chapter of jihad. You need to know, brothers and sisters, I know the word is very sensitive, but that's a fact. You need to know it. In books of Islam, it's not a secret. Everyone knows about that. The books of Islam, of fiqh, whether in Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanafi, any book, any madhab, you will find a chapter called a chapter of jihad. And in there, you will find order. It's a good chapter. You need to read it, because how are you going to defend your Islam in front of those who are talking about Muslims? Oh, they're only like killing and all of that. No, it's not that. That's wrong. You need to read a chapter of jihad to see when Muslim needs to be in that position to start defending themselves to kill the one who's in front of them. They're not going straight away into that. And you need to know the rules about these rules nowadays established by the UN and all the United Nations and all this modern life. We had that established more than 1400 years ago. We have that in our religion. We're not allowed to do this. We're not allowed to do that. All that rules are in there. And that's good. You need to read that so you'll be able to know it and say that to the others. So what she said in here, in the ayah, this excluding the Muslims, because we don't destroy lands, we don't kill, we don't make the al-a'izza adillah, and more than even than that. So then she said, so that's what I'm going to do, she's saying now. وَإِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْهِمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ فَنَاظِرَةٌ بِمَا يَرْجِعُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ. So she said, I surely, what she's going to do, she's a clever lady. وَإِنِّي, and surely what I'm going to do now, مُرْسِلَةٌ, I'll be sending to them. She did not say to him, to them. Sulaiman and his mala, his senior people in there. إِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْهِمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ. I'm going to send to them a gift. Why the gift? She said, فَنَاظِرَةٌ بِمَا يَرْجِعُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ, and will wait their response to that gift. If he was a Nabi from Allah, invited us to the deen of Allah, to worship Allah alone and to accept the Islam as he said, then he will not accept the hadiyah. And if he is just a ruler, someone who demands more and wants to have more followers, then he will accept that hadiyah. He will accept that gift. The Anbiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this statement said about, that's her tactic, this is her technique, and that's what she's going to test Sulaiman with. However, you need to know, brothers and sisters, the Anbiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they do accept the gift. Let's talk about the gift. But the situation of Sulaiman is different here. The gift that it will be given to him to test him that I'm not accepting your religion, but I'm going to give you a gift. So will that be accepted or not? But while we are believers, while they're amongst each other, and you give the gift, the gift will be accepted. Rasulullah accepted the gift from a Yahudi. The Yahudi used to live in Medina and used to pay the jizya. He accepted that, it's fine. Rasulullah used to accept the gifts from everyone in his city. So that is one of his qualities. كَانَ يَقْبَلُ الْهَدِيَّةِ. He used to accept the gift. And the gift, regardless the value of the gift that will be given to him. Rasulullah will not look into what is it, like nowadays people are doing. That is against the quality of Rasulullah, against the akhlaq. You value the person and you value the gift. I've seen in one incident, someone was giving a gift to the person, and look at it from far, that gift doesn't suit me. When the person came close, he rejected the gift. He rejected the gift, and that's not the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because the value is not in the gift, the value is in you considering me, that you thought of me and you made this gift to me. That is enough. So Rasulullah used to, is not just even that, extra, وَكَانَ يُكَافِئُ عَلَيْهَا, and he used to give a reward for it. It means that he used to give exchanging. He will give you a gift. You gave me a gift, later on, another occasion, I will give you a gift. But the situation of Sulaiman here, we'll bribe you basically in here. That's what it means. We'll give you that, but we're not accepting your religion. We'll continue as we are, we're worshipping the sun, and I have my empire. But Sulaiman, he said, you all come and accept Islam. You all come down and believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this gift is a little bit different gift. And also, that's in Islam. If you want to give a gift to bribe someone, you are in somewhere, and that's as known, and we are in majority Asian, even the Arab countries, we are giving gift to someone who works in an office to getting something goes through. You're giving a gift to someone and you're saying a gift. No, that's not a gift. You know inside you, if it was a gift, you're not going to give it. And you are in a situation, you want something from someone to let you maybe forgive you for something you did wrong, or we know how people are bribing the others. So that will not be called a gift. That's a sin. You should not do that. And because of that, let me add more about the gift, because I know even with the time, we don't have enough time to cover the whole ayah. One of the principles that relate to the gift, and I've noticed that in people who live in the West, they do that because of the culture. In workplaces, people are bringing gifts to the people in the workplace. For example, let's say I'm an imam in this masjid, and I have a duty to do. I have duties listed from 1A to Z, or Alif to Ya, as we have in Arabic, listed to do. And there's a duties in there, I have to do them. It's not because it's a favor or anything. You come to my workplace, Jazakallah khair, you're doing so much, you're doing this and that, and you give me a gift. That is, in my opinion, is wrong. I'm a teacher in a school, and you all have children go to school. And sometimes your child will say, especially in primary school, I'm sure that you know that, I want to give a gift to a teacher. The teacher is doing a duty. A gift in a workplace is wrong. So when should I give the gift? house. Rasulullah ﷺ, when that Sahabi, I forgot his name, he was the zakah collector. He was appointed by Rasulullah ﷺ to collect the zakah from everywhere. He went into the land, into among the tribes. He started collecting the zakah. The zakah means the sheep, the cattle, the sheep. He used to collect them and drive them all the way back to Medina. When he got in one place, one village, they said to him, this is to Rasulullah ﷺ, and this is for you. We're giving it to you as a gift. He took it. And you know, in this case, because in Islam, for the zakah collector, for him to decide, now you have 40 sheep. From the 40 sheep, you're going to give, you know, when you have 5 sheep to have them for zakah, it's not for you, the owner of the sheep, to decide, take this and take this, take this. No, it's not for you, it's for me. Do you know this rule? Or you don't know this rule? Maybe because you live in London, you don't have cattle. Okay, it's for the zakah collector to decide, I'm taking this and this and this and this. So he will decide that. By me giving you, okay, this gift, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the less one, the smaller ones. So can you see this? This is when you're bribing the others. Now, this Sahabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu returned back to the Medina, and he said to Rasulullah, this is for you, Rasulullah, but this one, yeah, this is mine, yeah, this is mine, it was given to me. Rasulullah said to him, هَلَّا بَقِيتَ فِي بَيْتِكَ وَنَظَرْتَ أَيُهْدَى لَكَ أَمْ لَا? Stay at your home and see if this person will consider you to give you a gift or not. You are giving this gift because you work, you did this duty and giving you that. So gift, you should be giving in your home, when you're visiting someone. In workplace, try to avoid it. I know it's the culture of this country, people, they do that, but try to avoid it because it's, in my opinion, it's not right. And you might, the gift might be rejected, and people, they don't want to reject the gifts. Okay, we still have more to talk about this ayah. Inshallah, we stop here. I hope that you learned something today. If I said something correct, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I said something incorrect, that's from me and my shaitan. May Allah forgive me. Allah knows best. And I hope that you enjoyed the lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.